Welcome to the MM815 installation video. Before starting on your installation, it is important to ensure that the MM815 will fit your specific mounting needs. You can easily verify this by utilizing the MantelMount installation calculator, which can be found on our website, MantelMount.com. By entering a few key measurements, this calculator will help you find the perfect mount for your installation. Before starting your installation, you should pause this video and gather the necessary tools to ensure a successful install. Once you are ready, hit play to continue.
Hi, I'm Chris with MantelMount, and today we'll be walking you through the installation and programming of our MM815 motorized TV mount. For our installation, we've already used our online installation calculator to confirm that our mantle depth, our vertical wall space, and our mount will all accommodate our television and soundbar. We've also located the structural wall studs, which are closest to the center of our mantle, which we've identified here with blue tape for video purposes. We've also ensured that the distance in between them is no more than 28 inches on center. In addition, we've identified the center of our mantle, as this is where we're going to want to make sure we place our lifting arm. So now that we've verified all of our installation requirements for our MM815, let's get started and open our box.
Let's begin by unpacking our MM815 to verify and familiarize us with all the parts of the mount. Your MM815 should include the following: 1 TV brace, 2 wall covers, 8 wall clips and Velcro strips, 1 lifting arm, 1 wall plug, 2 vertical braces, 2 brace extenders, a silver and a black hardware packet, 1 wall plate, 1 horizontal brace, 2 soundbar wings, 1 heat sensor, 1 RF remote control, and most important of all, our installation guide. Once you have verified all the parts are accounted for, you're ready to move on with the installation. For the first step of our installation, we will need to locate the following parts. We will start by placing our TV screen side down on a flat blanketed surface and test fitting our components onto the back of the TV. For our installation, we will also be installing a soundbar to our mount, so we'll be test fitting that as well. Next, we'll place the vertical braces on the back of the TV over the vessel holes so that the bottom of the vertical braces are 3 to 10 inches from the bottom of the TV or soundbar if you're using one, as we are here. Do not attach the braces yet, as we are still just test fitting. Once we are satisfied with the placement, we will test fit the brace extenders, making sure to leave enough room to reach the soundbar. Now we will test fit the horizontal brace. Since our soundbar is wider than our horizontal brace, we will also need to test fit the soundbar wings to compensate for the soundbar's mounting holes. Once we are satisfied with the placement, we can begin to attach the braces to the back of the TV. But first, we will need to measure the distance from the bottom of the vertical braces to the bottom of the soundbar. For our installation, the distance was 7 inches. We will need to note this number for step 2 of our installation. If you do not intend to use a soundbar for your installation, you will only need to measure from the bottom of the vertical braces to the bottom of the TV. Next, we'll attach the vertical braces to the back of our TV using the appropriate screws from our silver hardware packet. To help determine what screws to use, we placed our Allen key into the vessel hole to help determine the depth of the screws we will need. Once we have located the correct hardware, we can begin to attach the braces to the back of our TV using a Phillips head screwdriver. It is crucial we select the correct screw size, as using a screw that is too long can potentially damage your TV. To make this process easier for you, your hardware packet includes a variety of spacers. The included spacers are designed to assist you in achieving the right thread engagement without the risk of hitting the bottom of the threaded insert. Next, we will need to attach the horizontal braces to the brace extenders. Positioning the horizontal brace so that it extends an equal amount on either side of the brace extenders. Once we have determined placement, we will attach the horizontal brace to the brace extenders using 2 number 15 screws from our black hardware packet. Once secured into place, we can flip the brace extenders onto the vertical braces and secure them in place by using 2 number 18 screws and 2 number 23 nuts. We will only be hand tightening these screws for now, as we are still just test fitting the components onto our braces. Next, we'll be attaching the visual heat sensor to our horizontal brace using two number 15 screws, ensuring that the heat sensor is no more than 1 inch from the bottom of the soundbar. Next, we'll attach the soundbar wings onto the front of our horizontal brace at the predetermined location from our test fitting, using two number 16 screws, two number 10 washers, and two number 23 nuts from our black and silver hardware packets. Before tightening these down, we'll confirm their position using our soundbar as a guide. For our installation, we are using the hardware provided by the soundbar manufacturer to attach the soundbar to the soundbar wings. As soundbars come in many different configurations, you should refer to your installation manual for additional mounting options. Once we are satisfied with their placement, we can continue to secure the brace extenders onto the vertical braces using two more number 18 screws and number 23 nuts, and tighten them down using your Allen key and wrench. Once everything is secure and locked down, we are ready to move on to the next step of our installation. Step 2. Determining wall placement. For this next step, we will need to refer to the chart in step 2.2 of our installation manual. Using this chart, we will determine the minimum distance required to mount the wall plate above the mantel. To do this, we will need two measurements. Measurement 1. The distance from the bottom of the vertical braces to the bottom of the soundbar. For our installation, that distance is 7 inches. We will now need to find that measurement on the left-hand column of the chart. Next, we will need to measure the depth of our mantel. The depth of our mantel is the distance from the back wall to the front edge of our mantel. For our installation, that distance is 8 inches. We will now need to find that measurement on the top row of the chart. We will now need to determine where these numbers intersect on the chart, giving us the minimum mounting distance of 8.5 inches. This is the minimum allowable distance to ensure our installation clears the mantel. With this information, we can now take our level and mark a straight line 8.5 inches above our mantel. Next, we'll take the wall plate and position it on the line we just drew. Position the wall plate so that 4 of the slots align with the center of 4 of our wall studs. Using a pen or pencil, we will now mark the center of 4 of the slots as close as we can to the center of 4 of the wall studs. We are ready to move on to the next step of our installation. Step 3. Attaching mount to the wall. For this next step, we will need to locate the following parts. Let's go back to our mantel. Using an awl, we'll punch in 4 pilot holes at the marks we previously made on our wall. Now, using our drill and a 7/32 drill bit, let's drill out 4 pilot holes to a depth of 2.5 inches, being mindful to drill the holes straight into the wall and not at an angle. At this point, we can go ahead and remove any tape we've placed on our wall. While removing the last piece of tape, we will also go ahead and make a small mark on the wall at the center of our mantel. We'll use this indicator to make sure that our wall plate is centered over the mantel. For our installation, we've also placed a piece of cardboard on the top of our mantel to keep it protected as we continue with our installation. Next, we'll go ahead and secure our wall plate to the wall using 4 number 17 lag bolts. If you choose to use a drill to insert the lag bolts as we are here, it is important that you do not fully secure the lag bolts with the drill, as this could cause damage to your wall studs. You should only use the drill until the lag bolts sit about 1/4 inch from the wall, and then switch to a 13mm socket wrench to tighten the 4 lag bolts down by hand. Doing this will help prevent potential damage, and will also allow you to adjust the wall plates to a centered and level position. It is important that the wall plates are adjusted to sit level against the wall, as this will help us achieve a level television when making our final adjustments. Next, insert the bottom tabs of the lifting mechanism into the slots at the bottom rail of the wall plate. Once inserted, Gently raise the lifting arm into position up against the wall. Align the 4 holes on the side of the lifting arm to the 4 holes located on the wall plate, and secure the lifting arm to the wall plate using 4 number 14 screws and your Allen wrench, making sure to tighten down all 4 screws. Next, we will need to pair the remote to our mount. First, you will need to connect the wall plug to the power cable coming out of the bottom of the lifting arm. Next, you will need to push and hold the down arrow on the remote control, while simultaneously attaching the wall plug to the power outlet. A green LED will let you know the plug has power. Continue holding the down arrow until your lifting arm starts to lower. Once the lifting arm starts moving, continue holding the down arrow until your lifting arm has reached the bottom position. Your mount and your remote have now been successfully paired. If your lifting arm comes close to hitting the top of the mantle, you will need to set a bottom limit stop to prevent contact by following step 3.5 of your installation guide. Since our mount was properly installed, we have plenty of safe space between our lifting arm and the top of our mantle. With our lifting arm still in the lowered position, we will now attach the TV brace to the front of the lifting arm. We'll start by sliding the tab of the TV brace into the slot on the lifting arm. We will place a small level on our TV brace to make sure the brace is level before tightening down any screws. Using the remote, we will swivel the TV brace to make accessing the screw holes at the back of the swivel plate easier. Using your Allen wrench and 2 number 15 screws, secure the TV brace to the lifting arm. Do not fully tighten the screws, as we will still need to level the TV brace. Once you have attached the 2 number 15 screws, you will need to repeat this process on the opposite side of the lifting arm. Once all 4 screws have been attached, you can go ahead and center the TV brace to check and see that it is properly leveled. After we've leveled our TV brace, we can go ahead and tighten down the screws securing the TV brace onto the lifting arm. Once secure, we are ready to move on to the next step of the installation. Step 4. Attaching the TV to the mount. The next step of the installation process will require 2 people to complete. With the lifting arm still in the lowered position, you and your assistant can carefully hang the TV onto the TV brace, making sure that all the hooks of the vertical braces engage with the TV brace. Now that we have our TV on the brace, we can begin to center the TV. With a measuring tape, measure from the edge of the TV brace to the outer edge of the vertical brace. Once both sides are at equal distance, you can attach the TV brace to the vertical braces using 4 number 15 screws with a 4mm hex wrench. Make sure all 4 bolts are secure and tightened down. With the lifting arm still in the lowered position, this would be a good time to secure any cabling to the outer left side of the lifting arm using the supplied zip ties. Once attached, you will need to check all ranges of motion to ensure the cabling moves freely and does not get caught up in the lifting arm. Step 5. Making final adjustments. To keep the TV from bumping the wall or mantle, it may be necessary to adjust the side swivel stop positions. We will start by setting our soft limit stops. Using the remote control, swivel the TV all the way to the right and stop before the TV hits the wall or mantle. At this point, you will need to follow step 5.1 of your installation manual to set the soft limit stop for your mount. We will need to repeat this process for both swivel settings. Next, we will need to set the hard limit stops. With the mount fully swiveled to the right, loosen the lock nuts on the swivel stop screws and adjust the swivel stop screw until it makes contact with the stop plate. Once contact has been made, you will need to tighten down the lock nuts and repeat this process on the other side of the mount. Next, let's adjust the centering cam. This step is optional, but helpful for homes with deeper mantles. The centering cam ensures your TV automatically straightens if the mount is manually raised while it's swiveled. However, we recommend using the remote's home button when returning the mount to its home position, as this will properly center your mount before returning home, preventing any potential calibration issues. Next, with our TV in the lowered position, we'll check if it is vertical from top to bottom using a level. If adjustments are needed for the TV's tilt when lowered, use a 10mm wrench to adjust the tilt adjustment bolt located at the bottom of the lifting arm. Turning the adjustment bolt clockwise pushes the bottom of the TV outward away from the wall. Turning the adjustment bolt counterclockwise pulls the bottom of the TV inward towards the wall. Next, using our level, we will check to see if the TV is vertical from the top to bottom when the TV is in the home position. If adjustments are needed, lower the mount to access the adjustment screws. Loosen the lock nuts on the tilt adjustment screws. Turning the tilt screws clockwise will tilt the bottom of the TV in towards the wall. Turning the tilt screws counterclockwise will tilt the bottom of the TV out away from the wall. You will need to repeat this process equally on both sides of the swivel plate. Once adjustments have been made, return the TV to the home position and check with your level again. Once all our adjustments have been made, we'll give our TV one last check with the level and tighten down the TV brace. To finish off our install, we'll attach the wall clips and Velcro so we can attach our wall covers. Since our outlet is situated between the wall plates and behind the wall covers, we notched out the wall covers for a neat, clean, finished looking installation. Lastly, for best user experience, we recommend setting memory positions, which can be found in step 5.7 of your installation guide. Your MM815 is capable of storing up to 2 memory positions for ease of use. You can locate the comprehensive programming instructions on page 4 of your installation guide. Also note, when returning the mount to the home position, you should always use the home button. This will help ensure that your mount stays properly calibrated and extend the life of the batteries in the remote control.
Thanks for watching our MM815 installation video. We trust you found this video helpful, but if you have any questions or concerns about your installation, please feel free to reach out to our customer support team using our email, support@mantelmount.com, or by using our toll-free number shown below. Thanks for watching.